Hey everyone, I'm Rachel.
And I'm David.
Join us as we visit San Diego Zoo and the Wildlife Safari Park in the same weekend.
Let's
Let's go!
go.
All right, everyone. So we are in San Diego for the weekend, and they have two really great parks if you love to see animals. And so we wanted to show you kind of what each of the parks is like and give you some information on how they differ, how they're the same, and really which one might be right for you if you only have time for one. So we're going to start today at the Safari Park, which is pretty far. It's like 45 minutes to an hour from San Diego downtown. It's in Escondido, and that means the weather's a little bit different. It means that it's harder to get here. Parking is charged, so just make sure you plan ahead for that if you do want to come to this park. But it's going to be really awesome because you get to see these animals in an environment that's more like their environment. It's not like they're in, an enclosure or a cage. They have a whole savanna, and we're going to show you exactly what that's like. All right, so we have been at the safari park for a few hours now, and we wanted to give you an update on kind of our experience. And so the first thing we actually did this morning was a special safari. And so there is a safari that's included with this park. Each of the two parks does have something kind of like that that's included. And this one, they do have it's called the Africa Tram. It's free. It can get up to like an hour wait.
Yeah, it can get
So
pretty bad.
yeah, especially during the height of like midday. So you can do that, or you can pay to upgrade to a specialized safari tour, which is what we did. And that takes you actually into the habitats, whereas the free tram just kind of takes you around the habitats.
Yeah.
And so that was a really cool thing to do. But I highly recommend even just doing the free Africa tram if you are here.
Yeah, I think that's a must do, to be
Yeah.
honest. I think it's just so unique. It's like distinct to this park. And I love it. I actually think it's actually a really cool option. Now, I do personally think that the tours are worth looking at to
Yeah.
see if they're in your budget because I think they're awesome.
Yeah, for 100%. And we've actually done a different tour a long time ago when we
It
were
was.
at this park, and we both really enjoyed that too. That's one reason we wanted to come back. And outside of the tours, though, you can walk around and see so many different animals. The thing about this park is it is like 1,800 acres.
Yeah.
So it is huge. And most of that is habitats that you can't enter and walk through. So the walking paths are not that big.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of uphill and downhill, and there's not as much shade.
Yeah, there's really that's one of the knocks I've had on this park for my whole life, pretty much, because as you guys know, I've lived here. The lack of shade, it's gotten better, I would say. That's actually not too crazy, but at certain points, you start to feel it, man. And it's super important to stay hydrated at these parks,
Yes.
and they do a good job of reminding you of that too. So
Yeah, well, especially when you're walking uphill so much and then
yeah,
it's hot and then you need water. But if you buy a bottle of water from one of the stores or one of the snack stands, you can actually get free refills of that. So they'll refill it for you, and their water is very, very cold.
yeah,
So
it was awesome.
that was really nice too. And there are misters all over around as well.
They do a good job with that too. I noticed it felt actually pretty cold in some places because there was a nice little breeze going through and the mist was coming. So
And one really good reason to come to this park specifically is this is the only place to see a platypus other than Australia. So outside of Australia, they have the only platypus, and it's very, very, very cute.
it was adorable. It was rolling around in the waterfall. Everyone was losing their minds. I had always wanted to see one. I don't think they had that when I was younger, and they definitely didn't have it the last time we were here, or we would have made an effort for it. But honestly, it was so awesome. It was cool. It was kind of surreal, and there's this cute little. I don't know. It's interesting. So
But otherwise, yeah, we've kind of walked around. We did see pretty much everything we wanted to see.
hmm
I will say a lot of the animals do overlap with the zoo that we're going to tomorrow. And so we didn't really venture out as far into some of the further reaches of the park because we know we're going to go see some of those animals tomorrow. I did have a Greek salad for lunch. Unfortunately, the place we wanted to eat, called Tucker Truck in the
Okay.
Australian Walkabout, was closed,
Yeah.
and there was no notice. You can't even find it on the app right now, so I don't know how long it's going to be closed for.
I think that's kind of a negative in this park is when you're towards the back of the park, there wasn't really that many food options, if any. So we were right at that cusp of the Kangaroo Trail. It's your typical theme park kind of food, and it's, in my opinion, a little bit pricey,
Yes.
but I don't feel as guilty because we know it's helping the animals.
Yes, that is true. But the Greek salad was very, very good. If you like olives, Kalamata olives, it has like the most olives in any Greek salad I have ever had, and I love Greek salads, so I order them a lot.
Other than that, though, I think this park is gorgeous. The animals are incredibly active and seem incredibly healthy. It's not depressing walking around like some zoos out there.
Yeah.
If you go to your local zoos, sometimes they can be depressing,
Yeah.
for
And
lack of a better word.
well, they have so much room to roam around, and they try to keep them as close to their natural habitat as they can. And they also are focused on conservation and breeding. And so a lot of other zoos and parks around the nation will come to them because they have such a biodiversity and they have such genetic diversity in their packs. So it's really a breeding focused place, and they really care about the animal.
Yeah, and the employees really kind of shine too. Like they know their stuff. They kind of like interject when they see you kind of questioning or like looking around at an animal. They're all there at all the exhibits, so it's awesome. I just love zoos, and especially when they're really well done like this one. It's so much fun. It's just a great morning, evening, and afternoon out. It's awesome.
Yeah, and I will say it is open less hours than San Diego Zoo. It's open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., whereas the San Diego Zoo is open a little bit later in the evening. That's probably partially because this is kind of out in the middle of nowhere, whereas the San Diego Zoo is, pretty close to everything in downtown. So plan your day accordingly. It was pretty busy at the start of the day just getting in, but then everybody kind of spaced out and went different places. And yeah, everything here has been really good, and we've been able to see everything we wanted without too many crowds. So,
Yeah, I love it. Great morning, afternoon. It's so much fun.
so tomorrow is when we go to San Diego Zoo, and we will give you guys an update then.
All right.
All right, so yesterday we went to the safari park, and today we are going to the San Diego Zoo. It is a lot of a different vibe, but lots of animals still. It's only 100 acres, whereas yesterday we were in 1,800 acres, so it's a lot smaller, but there's a lot more variety of animals here. And we're actually here early because we get to do a panda tour before the park opens, so that way we are actually guaranteed to see the pandas, whereas a lot of times you don't get to see them unless you stand in a really long line. So we'll give you an update once we're inside and see everything that we do. All right, so we just got back from the San Diego Zoo. We actually have something else to do today, so that's kind of the first tip is you don't necessarily have to spend a full day here, though you definitely could if you wanted to see every single animal.
It's crazy. Like the way it zigs in and out, you don't feel like it's only 100 acres, but the way they've designed it is just really brilliant. And every few steps, you're seeing new animals and stuff. So yeah, you could eat up your whole day doing it. So I actually do kind of recommend making a game plan, and
Yeah.
I think the mobile app kind of helps you out with that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, and they have a lot of different food options. We actually didn't eat there today, but they do have them scattered throughout the park. And I do think they have way more food options than the safari park. So that's one thing. Plus, it's in the middle of Balboa Park, so it's really easily accessible from downtown, and there's tons of stuff to do in and around the zoo. So if you just wanted to do Balboa Park in a day, that's an option too.
that's totally like a great way to spend your whole day because there's a lot to see there. There's a lot of history there. I think it's actually a really pretty area. If you get to the zoo pretty early, you can knock a lot of things out really really quick. So I think
Yes.
actually a pretty good game plan.
Well, and for instance, what we did today is we did an early morning Panda Ridge tour because if you don't get in early to see the pandas while they have them, you do have to either do a timed entry or standby entry, and it's kind of just like a constantly looping conveyor belt of people.
It looked really
It
long.
looked like you wouldn't get any time to actually just sit and watch the pandas. Whereas on our tour, which was an extra cost, we got to stand there for a good like 30 to 45 minutes
Yeah.
at each of the panda enclosures and just watch. And we got to see them eating, and they were just right in front of us.
Yeah, it being first thing in the morning is strategic in a way because they do close at 5:30, I think it was today, and that can vary. But doing it first thing in the morning, they're feeding them, and so they make a pretty good effort to make sure the premium guests are getting their money's worth. So I really like that. I think that's honestly the way to go. I've done other early morning tours. Those are awesome too. I just think you should do something early in the morning. I think the pandas are a good use though because getting that extra time right off the bat, you get that time back and you can spend that time doing other things inside the park. So cool. It's awesome. You feel good about it because you know where the money's going. You get to physically see like the results from it. And there's just so many good stories coming out of both these parks, honestly. It's just awesome.
One last thing about the zoo is that, like the safari park, they do have a free transportation option.
Yeah.
So they have a bus tour, and we actually did that today. It's about 35 to 40 minutes, and it takes you around a lot of different enclosures. And this one, we highly recommend sitting in the top.
Yes.
If, especially, I mean, it might be sunny and hot, but like sit in the top if you can. We sat in the top, and we got to see the lion like so close
Yeah.
up.
Yeah,
So
the lion starts out his day pretty much perched up at the top. I think if you were down below, you might not have even seen him unless you were on
no,
that side. So I think a lot of locals do know to wait for the top. It's okay to wait for the top, but you also want to sit on the right hand side. In my opinion, I think that's the significantly better side. It's the opposite side of the driver, so it feels kind of counterintuitive, but almost all of the enclosures are on the right hand
yeah.
side, I would say. And that's not really a tip I think you get too often in these videos, but in my opinion, the right hand side is significantly better. And I really don't think you could ask for better.
Yeah, and the last transportation option is actually the Sky Ferry, which is basically like a bucket in the sky. It takes you from one end of the park to the other. So you can take that. It is included in your ticket. You can take it there and back. You can take it one way. And it is very high up in the air and open air. So you'll get a good breeze, but if you're scared of heights, probably not for you.
Yeah, and we walked by where you get on and off, and it didn't really look like there was really a line, so it actually looked pretty awesome. And I think this was probably a pretty busy day
Yeah.
considering. So
Absolutely.
I love this park. It's awesome. It's a staple of my childhood, and it's gonna be interesting comparing the two. All right, so we need to give you guys a final verdict. Essentially, this is like picking children for me because, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I grew up going to both of these parks. I've loved them forever. I've held them in high regard. They're kind of the pinnacle of animal experiences, in my opinion. So I'm gonna think about it while Rachel kind of gives her opinion on it.
Well, so I will say, and I think we both agree, if you have time to do both and you have ample time to do other things in San Diego, we would both highly recommend doing both.
I agree.
They both have something different, and that's kind of the reason you would want to make that decision. Do you want to see more animals like in their natural habitat? Are you more concerned about seeing the big animals in the African and Asian habitats? Then the safari park is probably really good for you.
Honestly.
Also, if you're not averse to sunshine and heat,
Yeah.
that one is the one for you. If you want to see more like a traditional zoo, but honestly the best zoo in the world that I have ever heard of or seen, then the San Diego Zoo is for you. So it really just depends on what you want. For me, like if you only have one day, I would choose the San Diego Zoo.
Yeah, I think it has to be. I think that's a good call.
Yeah, because one, it's really close to downtown and it's very compact. It's very easy to navigate. There's tons to do and see, and it's just going to give you the biggest bang for your buck.
It's also more shaded. Yeah, I don't, even though you trek uphill a little bit, uh, a lot of it, it doesn't feel as burdensome. Sorry, it doesn't feel as big as a burden, in my opinion.
Yeah, and they have elevators and things like
Yeah.
that, whereas the safari park doesn't really have that kind of thing.
It being shaded takes off a lot of
Yeah.
the extra weight you feel at the park. So
Yeah.
I get that. I think that's totally fair. I think that's the right way to go about it. Now, if you have kids that are like, I need to see a platypus, look at what both parks offer because they don't have the same lineup
Right.
of animals either. So if they're going to be disappointed that they don't see an otter, there's only otters at the San Diego Zoo, for example. So maybe that's the tiebreaker. If you're genuinely torn, maybe go that route, find out what they're interested in. If it's you personally, find learn which animals you want to see. And now there are things at these parks that you straight up can't see anywhere else, like
Yeah, the
the platypus.
platypus.
Yeah,
And then the giant pandas, the only other zoo that has them in the United States is the National Zoo in Washington, D.C. So,
yeah.
like, I had seen them there like 20 years ago. But this was such a special experience because
Yeah.
you're so much closer. And especially with the panda tour, it was such a great experience. And I think at the San Diego Zoo, they have a lot more variety of tours you
Yes.
can do. They have a big cats tour, they have an elephants tour, they have some animals like up close, animal encounters. They have giraffe feeding. So I
Oh
think
yeah,
like if
absolutely.
you're really interested in the special experiences too, I think the zoo wins
I
over
think
the
so.
safari.
If you're only here for one day, I think Rachel nailed it. It is the San Diego Zoo, and in my heart of hearts, that's where I always liked going as a kid. Anyway, now in my opinion, the Wild Animal Park slash Safari Park has made huge improvements
Yes.
from when I was younger. I think it is so much fun. I loved it. You can't go wrong.
Yeah.
So
Go to
so go
both if you
go to
can.
both if you can. And maybe just do the zoo first, and then next time you're in San Diego, do the Wild Animal Park. They're just so fun. They're so unique. It's the best there is for animal experiences, in my opinion. And I've been all over the world and done lots of things with animals. So there's my opinion.
Yeah. And I agree. But what do you think? Have you been to San Diego? Have you gone to the zoo or the safari park? Do you think we're completely wrong, or do you have any tips that we might have missed? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, help the other commenters out.
And if you enjoyed this video and want to see more travel content from us, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. But for now, I'm Rachel.
And I'm David.
And we hope this video helped you find the right direction for your next adventure.
Bye.
Bye!